evening, and thanks for tuning in to SFC TV. I'm Julia Giammona.
And I'm Quirk.
Coming up tonight, we'll introduce you to a unique artist who uses his talent to combat a never-ending memory.
Then St. Francis College honors a truly remarkable man.
And later, find out which television star from the USA Network stopped by SFC.
Also, stay tuned for tonight's sports update. But first, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton came home and both won big. Hillary Clinton won the Democratic primary over Bernie Sanders in New York. Clinton took 139 delegates against 106 for Sanders. Clinton won 58% of the vote. Her advisors were not expecting her to win as many delegates as she did.
Because of you, this campaign is the only one, Democrat or Republican, to win more than 10 million votes. And tonight, little less than a year later, the race for the Democratic nomination is in the home stretch and victory is in sight.
Experts predict Clinton will become the Democratic nominee.
Trump's sweeping victory proved New York is truly his territory. With 95 delegates at stake, Trump took 89 and the remaining 4 went to Ohio Governor John Kasich. Trump now leads the Republican GOP with 844 delegates. After earning 60% of the New York vote, Trump used his homecoming victory speech to say that the only way he'll be denied the Republican nomination is if the game is rigged.
Nobody should take delegates and claim victory unless they get those delegates with voters and voting. And that's what's going to happen. And you watch, because the people aren't going to stand for it. It's a crooked system. It's a system that's rigged. And we're going to go back to the old way. It's called you vote and you win.
Former state assemblywoman Joan Millman visited St. Francis College and commented on the state of the race.
I'm disappointed that the Republican candidates have reduced themselves to name-calling and finger-pointing, and instead of talking about real issues that confront the Americans. I'm very excited to think that we may, and I'm hoping we will, break another glass ceiling.
Another local artist is putting his spin on works of art based on his experiences during World War II.
Fred Turner is not your average artist.
What I paint is not memory, but feelings of memory.
The inspiration for his works come from the 4 concentration camps he was held in during the Holocaust.
Lipa, Terezin, Auschwitz, and Kaufering. But Kaufering was a cluster of camps.
He shared what life was like after the camps.
There was a general embarrassment. Emotionally, we knew who we were, but they didn't know how to handle it. You know, I'm still, to some part of me, still in the camps, I know that. But, you know, I'm going to live with it. I have lived with it, I continue living with it.
Fred Turner is getting ready to send a collection of paintings to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C.
The fraternity Tau Kappa Epsilon, also referred to as TEAC, organized an event to raise money for a good cause. The fundraising event, Seesaw for a Chance, took place right outside SFC and raised over $13,000 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
By raising money and awareness for St. Jude's, we give those kids a chance to enjoy their childhood, perhaps on a seesaw or a playground.
TEAC received assistance from their school administration, Student Government Association, sororities, and other fraternities in order for their event to be successful. Other SFC student clubs had set up different activities during the Seesaw-a-thon. Associate Director of Student Activities, Ruben Gonzalez, is extremely proud of TEAC's efforts.
We all make a difference, we all can leave a mark, and this really is the beginning of something great.
TEAC hopes their event generates change for future generations.
When we come back, see how the former SFC president was honored.
And later, we'll give you a taste of the newest ice cream fad.
Visual arts are bringing awareness about the inhumane conditions of solitary confinement.
As a formerly incarcerated woman who spent 5.5 years in prison, I spent 45 days going to solitary. We are not just our crime, that we're people, and that through arts we can have an outlet to express ourselves.
The event featured a panel discussion and a display of different forms of art.
With Opportunities and Change, we've created 3 programs with the hopes of using the arts to lift people up.
New York is already making changes in the way prisoners are being treated by restricting who can be put in solitary, reducing the length of isolation, and improving conditions. For more information on the confined arts, please visit www.opportunitiesandchange.org.
St. Francis College students have collaborated with scientists and artists in a unique experiment called Art in the Lab.
SFC professor Allison Dell and former SFC professor Irina Ellison founded the workshops last year as a way to provide students with a different outlook on biology.
We just thought it would be a great way to get people to engage with the collections here and to do science outreach and promote science literacy.
Art in the Lab is a great learning experience for students.
Instead of staring into the typical black and white textbook, I expanded my studying techniques and actually incorporated colors.
So it's nice that Art in the Lab is growing and reaching more and more people.
Art in the Lab is a great learning experience for all students.
A former Olympic swimmer swam through a local college, and we have the story. Dara Torres made a splashy entrance at St. Francis College for the Big Splash Swim Clinic, a fundraiser for the college aquatic teams. During the clinic, children 8 to 17 learn proper techniques to become better swimmers.
It's nice to know that someone as accomplished as Dara can help others who have been swimming like me and can get better and want to get better.
Just has molded me into who I am today with learning so many things and taking so many things from the sport of swimming and trickling it out into other aspects of my life. You learn about time management, you learn about sacrifice, dedication, hard work.
This California native started swimming competitively at 14 and 2 years later finished her first Olympics. She even holds an American record in the 50-yard freestyle. Her natural talent and love for the sport helped her to become the first American to complete 5 Olympics and win a total of 12 medals.
Just the simple fact that she is the first American to make 5 Olympics shows a dedication that's very inspirational.
But what she did is insane, and she's like a really superwoman.
Torres has many accomplishments on dry land as well. She has had numerous magazine features, has been a guest host on many shows, and is the author of 2 best-selling books.
She proved everyone wrong by making the Olympic team. And not only that, she had already had a kid, so out of the water she was also being a mother as well as training for the Olympic team.
It was great that she was able to take so much time off and accomplish so much else in her life and then come back to it and still pick up right where she left off.
Her clinics and motivational speeches demonstrate how giving back is extremely important to her.
She's a good swimmer and she won a lot of things.
I've had days where I'm sitting on my coach's couch crying because I'm exhausted, or there are days that the alarm clock goes off and I'm in my nice comfy bed and I don't want to get out. And I think, well, I set these goals and I want to attain these goals, and I can't do this by being upset because I had a bad day or a bad week or a bad meet. You have to just keep kind of plugging through it and just not give up.
Dara Torres travels the world speaking about her powerful message. You are never too old to chase your dreams. She's going to keep on inspiring us for years to come.
St. Francis College held its annual Spring Open House, which gives potential students and their families opportunities to see what the college has to offer.
We like the proximity, we like the whole culture and the mission statement of the school. Very impressed with the tuition, such affordability for a private institution, and we're waiting to go on our tour right now for the campus.
Tables from different departments were set up to attract interested visitors.
Honestly, we just want to give the feeling of community and the fact that we all support each other with all the different departments in the room currently.
It's different to read about it or hear about it. When you're here, you meet these wonderful and dedicated students and faculty and staff. And this is how it is every day, and they get to really feel about it, because this could very well be their school.
Something is springing to life on the rooftop of SFC.
We came up to do a biology lab project in it, and we saw that no one was taking care of it, and we thought, oh, that's a good idea for a club.
The Greenhouse Club, founded this year, is currently growing over 20 different plants.
As you never think so many people would be interested in a greenhouse or planting, we're in New York City where there's barely any greenery anywhere.
To learn more about the Greenhouse Club's events and achievements, follow their Instagram page below.
Former St. Francis College president Dr. Frank J. Macurola was honored with a digital and physical archive collection on what would have been his 75th birthday.
One of the things that was obviously very special to him was his academic side, which comes to life when you see all of the things he's brought about, and the ability for him to share that and continue to share that with the students of St. Francis is absolutely exhilarating.
Books, documents, and personal mementos highlighting Dr. Macurola's achievements are available at the college library and to the public.
The scope of these volumes is a testament to my dad's hard work. It holds all of the organizations he led accountable, and it did so with a certain truthfulness, a certain introspection, and all the while managing to avoid being judgmental.
He's in our thoughts and he's in our prayers. But today, we dedicate something tangible, and I think it's a marvelous thing.
More than 130 articles were written and co-written by Dr. Macchiarola.
He had an intelligence that was way beyond anybody that I'd ever dealt with. Plus, he was just a very good soul.
His brilliant mind and big heart impacted the lives of students during his time at SFC.
He was a mentor, he was a teacher, he was an educator, but more importantly, he was a friend.
The unveiling of the archive reminded many of the fond memories they have of Dr. Macchiarola. His legacy will now live on for years to come.
And when we come back, the NBA's first full-time female assistant coach talks about the importance of character.
And later, USA Network's hit television show, Mr. Robot, takes over St. Francis College. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Becky Hammond is the first full-time female assistant coach in the NBA.
She came to St. Francis College to share how her life experiences prepared her to be a pioneer.
I was very naive coming in. I thought I had a fair chance, but I didn't have a fair chance. I just had a little chance. But I just came in every day and competed and just tried to make it impossible for them to cut me each day.
Hammond's big trade to the San Antonio Silver Stars was a move that greatly impacted where she is today.
My journey down to San Antonio really just kind of set the table for all this to happen. If I'm never down in San Antonio, I don't think Coach Popovich is watching me play basketball, interact with my teammates. He's not watching me in the community and just having a really close observation of me.
Her lecture revolved around key traits that made her who she is. She used the letters of the word character to explain the traits she possesses on and off the court. Ones like courage and resiliency.
Resiliency simply refuses to be broken. People of strong character don't break when it gets hard. They let those hard times make them better and stronger.
She really made a huge deal about being yourself and just the way people remember you and how you treat them.
Hammond never let anything define her, especially her gender. It played no role in her crossover move from a player to an assistant coach.
I was qualified. I've been a professional basketball player for 16 years. I was always an extension of the coach on the court, so those things qualified me for the job. And thank goodness Pop didn't care whether I was a guy or a girl. He valued my experiences, and he valued and respected my IQ as a basketball player.
St. Francis College students say they wouldn't mind being coached by a female.
Because of her acumen and her background in basketball and what she's done, not only as a woman, but just as a basketball player, and you have to listen.
If I could follow Becky Hammond's footsteps and coach in the NBA, that would be a great success of mine.
Have courage to follow your heart. Even if something has never been done, don't be afraid to be the first, and it doesn't mean that it can't be done.
Student athletes as well as students at St. Francis College were truly inspired by the words of the one and only Becky Hammond, who continues to break ground for women all around the world.
Coming off a traumatic brain injury, world-class snowboarder Kevin Pierce took time to stop by SFC to share his powerful message.
We're not learning about any other parts of our body. We know what to do when our ankle's broken. We know what to do when we get sick. But we know so little about these brains.
His foundation, Love Your Brain, strives to help all dealing with TBIs by holding group activities such as yoga.
We run a yoga program through this foundation, and the month of March is Brain Injury Awareness Month. So for the month of March, we do this fundraiser where we partner with the studio, at least one in every state.
For more information, visit his website at www.loveyourbrain.com.
When you are dealing with something very traumatic, like a brain injury, I think the number one most important thing you can do is to not rush your healing.
Jerry Greenfield, co-founder of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, visited St. Francis College to give students a taste of his company's success.
The Brooklyn-born ice cream man founded his business in 1978 with his lifelong friend Ben Cohen.
I think the biggest influence was Ben and me failing at everything we were trying to do, and that led us to want to do something together.
Jerry made clear the importance of his company's social responsibility.
The business world typically looks at value as just money. I think value can be in contributions to the community. In the end, the most important things in life are things that you can't really measure. Ben has always said to stumble is not to fall, it is to move forward more quickly. And certainly all throughout the history of Ben & Jerry's, there have been failures along the way. And if you're not failing at things, you're not trying enough new stuff.
Mr. Robot teamed up with the Center for Communications to discuss the show's popularity.
A lot of my friends were coders and hackers, and I just found them very fascinating and interesting. And I always thought that was an interesting subculture to tell a story about.
I am a huge fan of the show. As soon as I heard about it and saw the trailer, I wanted to watch it.
The Center for Communication brought the show's creator, Sam Esmail, and lead actor Rami Malek to St. Francis College to discuss the ins and outs of the show.
I did know all the changes that were coming. My executive producer and creator and writer, Sam Esmail, asked me if I wanted to know them ahead of time, and I said, yeah, I think it'll help for me just charting a path for this guy.
I think it's amazing that we can have events like this because you definitely get to go behind the scenes, and they really talk about how they make it, how they film it.
I really like the fact that the creator really emphasized music. That's a big component of the series, and that's why I like it.
When our love was new and our hearts were high.
Even though Rami has been in many featured films, Mr. Robot has had the biggest impact on his career.
This show's definitely opened a lot of doors for me. I'm reading some scripts that I might not have seen before, meeting with some really cool directors as well. People are calling me Mr. Robot on the street. That's pretty cool.
Mr. Robot will be hacking back into the hearts of its fans with season 2 on the way.
When we come back, find out who won the Pulitzer Prize for drama.
And later, we'll give you a quick update on the latest sports news. A new ice cream fad has customers waiting up to 3 hours in line. 10 Below stands out in the ice cream market for its unique way of rolling the dessert. Founder Richard Tam got the idea from watching a friend's video about Thailand and decided to put an American twist on the Thai-style rolls. 10 Below's signature flavor is I Love You a Latte, and there are numerous topping choices such as blow-torched marshmallow. We can add another Broadway play among the greats, as Hamilton's actor Lin-Manuel Miranda won the Pulitzer Prize for drama. With this award outshining the others, Miranda took to Twitter to share his emotions, as did many others. Hamilton is now one of 9 Broadway musicals to have ever won the Drama Award. The Today talk show sat down with Jim Citrin, author of the Career Playbook, to share his advice for college students to land the job. His 3 insights were dress code. Dress to the job, whether it's business attire for an office company or casual for a startup. Summer jobs. Fill your resume with an array of different forms of jobs. And lastly, social skills. Learning to communicate and interact with people is extremely important.
Players come and go, but one has remained for 2 decades, Kobe Bryant. Kobe wrapped up a 20-season career with the Los Angeles Lakers and ended it with a bang, scoring 60 points on 50 shots in a win over the Utah Jazz.
Knew everything about every player that's ever played here. So to be drafted and then traded to this organization and to spend 20 years here, I mean, you can't write something better than this. And I say, Mamba out.
After 7 years, the Detroit Pistons are back in the NBA playoffs. Clinching 8th in the Eastern Conference, they play the #1 seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The San Antonio Spurs had their best regular season in history. With a 67-15 record, they are tied for the 7th best record in NBA history. Earning 2nd place in the Western Conference, they play the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round of playoffs. Just a month into baseball season, the New York Yankees find themselves last in the standings. After a sweep at home against the Oakland Athletics, the Bronx Bombers will look to improve their 5-9 record as the season picks up. The New York Mets, on the other hand, stand 2nd in the National League with a 7-6 record and are set to finish their last away trip of the month with the Atlanta Braves. That's all we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Julia Giammona.
And I'm Tia Quirk. See you next time.